We're excited for today's webinar, Think Inside the Box, Energy Savings and Walk-in Coolers, featuring Kolpak. To go ahead and introduce our guest speaker today, this is Marcia Lee. Marcia has worked at Kolpak for 26 years. She started on the shop floor and worked her way through most departments, from quality, purchasing, service, and inside sales departments to her current role as Kolpak Product Sales Manager. And in 2020, she actually came over to where we get to work with her at Performance Reps Northwest. So we're super excited about that. And we're excited when everybody's back to traveling, so we get to hang out with her in person. Marcia's been married to her fabulous husband for going on 23 years and is the mother of two awesome children, Wyatt, who is 17, and Olivia, who's 12, going on 22, which I can personally relate to the teenage daughter. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let's take it away, Marcia.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for allowing me to take up a little bit of your time this morning. And thank you, PRNW, for your always giving me your great support. So let's get started. A couple of things for an agenda. Quickly, we're going to talk about some Kolpak products, some energy for the energy, the Kolpak Air Shield, LED lighting, and the True Demand by Arctic Fox. And some side notes, what to look for after your walk-in has been installed, door alignment and its importance, and what to look for down the road to stay energy efficient. So quickly, Kolpak is represented in auto quotes with polar packs, cold fronts, and quick shifts. What I'm showing you here is our polar pack top mount self-contained system. It is a one-piece drop-in unit. For coolers and freezers. All of our models are located again in auto quotes. Of course, we have surpassed quality, nobody offers a greater flexibility, and our quick ships are available for 48 to 72 hours. Unfortunately, once we get back to our standard lead times. Our cold front is that same fabulous walk-in that you see there. The only difference would be that it is a remote refrigeration system that it ships with. So you have the two-piece, you have the condensing unit and then the evaporator. With the cold front models, you do have a single compartment and a combo unit that is available if you need that for your site conditions. These are also a 5 business day lead time. Once we have our lead times back to square one, then you'll start seeing these move back into the lead time capabilities that we offer. To make it a one-stop shop, Kolpak does have a flat rate shipping that is located in auto quotes, so you'll be able to do your quote and provide shipping without having to come into the plant for any details. Let's talk about some metal finishes. Kolpak has a lot of standards, and we stock a lot of metal for our customers. If you were to ask for a standard quote, you would receive the 26 gauge galvalume finish. That is a Kolpak finish. That is your lowest price point. On top of that would be your white galvalume. It's just pennies on a dollar price as a price point. So it is a very easy way to add value to your walk-in at the minimum of just using the white on your ceiling. It does help reflect the lumens, and you do not require as much lighting. The next price point would be your aluminum, your stucco aluminum base. Then you have your white aluminum to go along with that. Next price point, you're looking at your stainless steels. Okay, you've got your 304 and 430 stainless is 20 and 22 gauge. Kolpak stocks a couple actually of finishes. You have this black, which is great. I've seen it done on floral boxes. I've seen it done on some of the front of the house walk-ins, that bar fronts, things like that. That is a very nice metal to use. And we also have for some outdoor units, you could do your browns, your beiges, and your bittersweets. For floor types, your standard floor type is going to be your 0.100 smooth aluminum. And then you do have an option for the 0.100 diamond tread. And then, of course, we have some of our specialty. Now, if there for some reason we do not have a color finish that you need, we do have a paint grip option. And this is a raw finished material. that can be painted once it's sent out into the field and erected. So you can go to any Sherwin-Williams and get that paint that's needed. So we do have that option. But if not, and they do enforce and require a specific metal finish, then you would have to do a buyout. And unfortunately, with those buyouts, they have two things. They have a long lead time, and you have to purchase the minimum buy. So that can get costly to our customers as well. Okay, something that stands out and makes Kolpak a little bit better than most is our flooring. Kolpak has, in the last, I would say 3 years, had a standard floor change. We only offer 2 floors. So you have your standard floor, which is 1,000-pound rated for rolling cart traffic. Okay, it's the highest rated floor in the walk-in coolers and freezers. And the reason for that is most of the other manufacturers require plywood to be foamed in place in the panel to be able to obtain that 1,000-pound rating, or Kolpak does not. So your R value is a lot better in our floor panels. So what this is a foamed in place bracket here with a fastener that is included through the metal into this foamed in place bracket. So you're not going to see that metal canning or lifting if something just happens to spill, or if they don't have good housekeeping. That should help with that metal canning or separation, if you will. So there's more foam in the Kolpak floors, and we do not require plywood to be able to obtain that 1,000-pound rating. If for some reason you do need a structural floor option, an example being a keg cooler that's not on grade, we do have the structural floor that does have a 5,000-pound rating. It is designed for the hand pallet jack traffic for keg coolers if needed. It is the same bracketed technology. However, it does have a Schedule 40 PVC pipe that is foamed throughout the panel, shipped to the customer with a 3/16 floor overlay that is applied out in the field. And the way that happens is the floors are installed, and then that overlay is installed in the opposite direction of the floor seams. So with that bracket and that fastener, with the support and the structure of the floor, after installed with that overlay, you do meet your 5,000-pound rating. So 2 floors. I know in the past we've had quite a few that were for options, but we have taken those away, and now we only have the 1,000-pound and the 5,000-pound rating. So this is one of the things that sets us apart. Okay, this is one of my favorite items. This is the Kolpak patented air shield. Okay, this is NSF and UL listed for Kolpak. This is a vertical air shield. Okay, so this is going to take the place of your strip curtains or strip doors. Okay, this is a sanitation solution, and it is a hands-free option. Okay, this is an interior mounted 78-inch tall, and it takes up about 5.5 to 6 inches of shelving space. So you want to be cognizant of that whenever you're laying out your shelving. Okay. This is, it does fit on our standard door sizes anywhere from the 26 all the way up to the 36. This is for coolers and freezers. And the good thing about this vertical air shield is that it is a field installed, but these can be retrofitted into any walk-in. So if you have a location that is giving you some condensation issues, or they just don't have the best they're not just doing the best at keeping their door closed, these are a good option to use because it does blow a steady stream of air across the door to help keep that kitchen air out and leave your cool air inside. So it is 115 volt. It is the standard hookup into your light, as you see here. It does come with the 1-year parts and labor, so that is a good. Then it does have to be installed after the walk-ins erected. Okay, and it's just there is a little catch here, if you will, where it only runs when your door is open, when it releases this button tab, and then when the door is closed, it shuts itself off. So the main points to the air shield is it does replace those strip curtains and strip doors. It is field applied, and it does have the 1-year parts and labor and sanitation solution. It does keep you from having to use your hands to move those curtains, to get those, excuse me, nasty things all over you. I can't stand them. But anyway, most important point, in the very heavy usage periods of the day, you can save up to 20% energy savings because your evaporator does not have to continuously run because that door is being opened and shut so many times. So what I have here is an example. If you will, bear with me, this is a velocity. The colors that you're going to see is actually air movement, not temperatures, okay? It's very important to remember that. You are looking at this diagram where your evap is back here and your open doors here. So it's if you're standing on top of the walk-in looking in, okay? Very important to remember that this is velocity air movement. So you can see that your door is open in the open position and that cool air is going out of your door. Okay. Also, you can see that that air from the kitchen is coming into your walk-in and going to the coldest spot of the walk-in, which is your evap. Okay. So as you can see, air going out the door, air coming in the door. Okay. Next, let's look at an air shield installed here at the door. Same thing, air velocity, evaporator here, air shield here. Now you can see with the air that's blowing across the door, it is taking that air that's on the inside of the walk-in and just cycling it through, okay? Not allowing it to leave that door and not allowing that kitchen air to come inside. So your evap does not have to work as hard as if there was nothing in the blocking the door. So this is where your savings comes in. Okay, next let's talk about LED lighting. Kolpak only offers LED lighting at this time. You do have as a standard at 1803 light that's here in the center. Your compartment light is, or have the option for the 1809 18-inch LED light. We do also have the 48-inch. And also as a sanitation solution and energy saver, Kolpak offers the case-on motion detection. Excuse me. And what this does is it turns the lights on and off for you based on motion. So another energy savings item there, along with sanitation solution. Excuse me. Next up, let's talk about True Demand by Arctic Fox. Okay, this is for your refrigeration system. As we all know, in the past, we've had our manual defrost time clock that has the settings of 4 times a day, every day, whether it needs to be in defrost or not. Well, Kolpak does have an offering that is called the True Demand by Arctic Fox and will only allow the system to go into defrost when it senses that it needs it. Okay, so what this does is instead of having those forcing it for 4 times a day, you may go through a day and not actually need a defrost. Actual live feed that is at the well-built Tampa corporate location. We do have a set of walk-ins there that the chefs use daily. And you can see once your system is logged into, which what is needed is the Cat5 cable hooked up to the router in whichever location that decides to use this. These capabilities are available to your customer. So you have a walk-in freezer and a walk-in cooler. I am going to pull up the statistics on the walk-in freezer. So anybody that has this access will be able to log in and from anywhere, a tablet, a phone, a computer, anywhere they're located, can look into their system once the passwords are entered correctly and be able to see all kinds of functionality that's going in with their walk-in. Okay. Most importantly, what is allowed is for your customer to be able to put in some notifications here, emails, text alerts, anything of the such. And if something is tripped or something is, one of the set points are not met, these people on this contact list will be notified that if something's going wrong with their, or going on with their system that is past the set points. So that is a huge opportunity to avoid food waste or costly repairs and things like that. So once in here, you can go to graphs, and I have this set for a month, but I want to show you how easy it is to show you what defrosts are needed for just 1 week. Okay, so if you think about it, you have with the manual, or not manual, with the actual 4 times a day, every day for a week, you're looking at 28 defrosts, whether you need them or not. Here you can see that this system is only wanting to defrost 3 times. So 3 out of the 28. So you're saving 25 defrosts. So you can see where the savings could be substantial with a freezer that's used every day. Okay. This will show you your room temperatures and your cold temperatures. It'll also show you a door jar. If it's something that you set and you have that set point set in your controls up at the front, you're able to see how long your door's being left open if you think that that's a problem that you might have. We all know HACCP, we all know health departments require temperatures to be taken daily. You can take this, and out of a month, notice only 14 defrosts. Such a savings. So you can take in these temperatures, you can save this a month at a time, and at that year, whenever you're required to turn in that information, or quarterly, however it is you're required, you can upload this information to an SD drive and turn that in with no problems. So, so many opportunities to save you time, save you money, and also potential of catastrophic money because your system has went down. So advantages of using the True Demand by Arctic Fox: the reduction of defrost times and occurrences for sure, being able to get text and email alerts, more stable compartment temperatures. And then this has an electronic expansion valve, so it responds better into the controls of the refrigerant. Of course, you have data logging, online access, and as an option, you can get the door and the fan control for when that door comes open, that you can have that fan shut off for up to that 15-minute time. The number one question we always get is for the online access, what I just showed you. Each system, with just say you have a combo unit, each system would be $30 after the first year. Kolpak pays for that first year. And then after that, it's only $30 a year to be able to see those online services. Okay. So quickly, showing you an example, a review of, just to sell this, just trying to give you some selling points to our customer. Of course, if anybody has ever lost product, this is a good sale because you are keeping this from happening. You're being proactive. So you can promote the text and email alerts. In Minnesota, I had a 3 horsepower low temp unit that roughly $1,400 to operate the system. They changed out to the Arctic Fox True Demand system and provided a 42% reduction in energy. So I was able to operate this system for $812 versus that $1,400 without the True Demand. So, and then the return on investment is around 16 to 24 months. So not bad considering the savings that you save by using the True Demand. Okay, so we're through with this for the most of the savings stuff. Let's go over to items after your walk-ins installed. Some really quick tips on items to look for. The all-inclusive, let's look at this probe. This is how Kolpak ships this to you, okay? There is a little tie strap here that needs to be cut carefully. Be careful not to cut your probe. But the correct way is to install that probe to the farthest point of your walk-in, okay, opening, their walk-in opening, because you don't want it to read the temperatures at the door. You want it to read the temperatures inside the box. So make sure that if you're ever out and about, or something that your customer might call about is not reading, you know, my temperatures are not coming down fast enough. That's just something really quick to look at to see if they're actually getting a quick reading or not. Okay. Next, very important. You don't have to have all this space. This is just a really good example of no product obstructing the airflow of your evaporator. This is not good. You want that evaporator to have as much airflow as possible, okay? So with it being like this, you're actually causing higher than normal operating temperatures, and it has to work a lot harder than what it has to. So keep it clear around your evap, and you will get a lot more functionality out of your evaporator, longevity as well. Let's talk about doors. Doors are very important. Doors can save you or cost you when it comes to energy, okay? Through time, your door, it can sag, or even if you have an install where it wasn't installed exactly square into your frame, okay? I know a lot of us have seen this in the field where the door is actually setting a little bit lower in the frame and it needs to be adjusted. Just know that Kolpak does provide, all of their hinging is field adjustable. Okay, so that is something that can be fixed without that additional service call. I wanted to show you basically how easy it is to adjust one in the field. So I went out to the show floor, and you just remove the cover. You take this little tab out. You loosen these 4 screws. Then you adjust your door into the frame. And then once you have it where it needs it, you tighten the bolt, and then you tighten your screws back. So you're actually able to set that door back into the frame and square it up. And the reasoning for that is so that your gaskets meet in the needed places. So your air is not leaving your walk-in. Your sweep is actually along the bottom of the door correctly and is not allowing additional air filtration through or into your walk-in. So let's look at items that you need to look for down the road. A little bit of time has gone by and you start noticing from usage, of course, we all have heard that, you know, iconic pop. So once that door is pulled open, sometimes this roller ball, hydraulic roller arm pops out. And if you don't fix that back and put it back into place and adjust your hook in a little bit, then that door is not going to close properly. So all you have to do is open that door. Once you've adjusted your hook down a little bit, is push that roller ball over and it puts it back into place, and then you're ready to go again. But the most important thing is to make sure that it is in place and it pulls your door as close as it can in. With the hinges being camerized hinges, that once that door is opened and is around 90 degrees, it will shut on its own. However, your door closure is going to pull that the rest of the way tight. So just make sure that that's something to look at in the future. Let's talk about door sweeps. Door sweeps. This is a correct application. The one on the left that you're looking at, that is a correct application. Now, some field installations may require an adjustment. So there's 3 or 4 screws that are along the bottom here. You just loosen them up, and then you can drop that around, as you can see, about 1/4 inch. But something to remember is that you want to be able to seal this. You do not want to have the gap between the gasket and the sweeper. So make sure you fill that in as well. But you can have a little bit of an adjustment with your sweep. Now, if you start seeing on your monthly checks or quarterly checks, you start seeing wear and tear, because they're in a bind or in a pinch, it's time to call the parts department and get these replaced. But this is not a good application. You want it to be smooth, you want it to be sealed, and you want to be able to have the correct adjustments on your door sweep. Let's talk about gaskets. Gaskets are something that is neglected and not even thought about after that walk-in has been up and running for a while. This is a good and correct gasket. Okay, it is facing the correct way. It's not rolled as you see here. It actually rolled inwards here. That will allow the air to filtrate into your cooler and freezer and cause freezing and icing. Okay, no matter if your heater wire is working or not, if that gasket rolls over time, you are going to start seeing some air filtration and it's going to cause you some headache. So when you're looking through your walk-in, make sure that you're noticing on the, especially on the inside of the hinge side, to make sure that that gasket is still in good condition. Okay, one of my final slides. This is your strip curtains. Okay, if you choose not to have those Kolpak Air Shield, you do want to have some kind of strips or strip doors to help block that condensation every time that that door is opened, which, as you see here, these strip doors are actually doing what they're supposed to. But what's not happening is these are not being cleaned off or maintained as they should be, because this is not good. The ice and the snow and the frost, it will gather at your threshold and cause a safety concern for you on site. So monthly maintenance on these or replacement quarterly. As you can see, this has some opportunities for improvement right here. That will allow you to just pay attention to what you got going on, and that will save you time and energy and money in the long run. Okay, any questions?
Let's go ahead and jump into some Q&A.
Okay.
So let's talk a little bit about the true demand.
Okay.
Is true demand a wired or wireless connection?
Okay, that is a Cat5 wire that will be connected from the system to the router that's inside that the customer has for their internet service. So it is a hard wire, but you can log into it anywhere.
Okay, so I can log into it remotely, but it does require the hard wire. So
it does require a Cat5, yes.
Okay, and then I'm not sure if you'd mentioned this, but can True Demand be added in the field aftermarket, or is this something that has to be ordered at the time?
If it's wanted to be ordered after the fact, unfortunately, we don't have a kit that can be used, because we actually put those these items in the evap at the plant. So if they do want to add it to their system, they would unfortunately have to get a new evaporator to do so, or order, you know, in the next package or the remodel of the walk-in. But we unfortunately do not have just like a kit that can be added in the field. You have to reorder an evaporator for that.
Okay, and then let's go back to the software. You were saying that I can access it through my iPad and see this information. I can set up alarms so certain people get notified. Is there a fee for that software?
That's that $30 a year that I was speaking about earlier, is for each system after the first year. Now, after the first year, it is on the customer, but Kolpak does take care of that first year subscription.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and ask a couple other questions. So Greg Stouffer has posed a question for us. I know there's been some issues with the foam supply with walk-in manufacturers.
Yes.
How is Kolpak lead time, and is the foam supply back on track?
We are actually foaming. We have been foaming for a couple of weeks now. We are so excited. Right now, we're currently working through our backlog. And just to put it out there, is Kolpak on March the 15th, we actually ran out of foam due to all the weather requirements and issues that Texas has had, because that's where our two foam suppliers are actually at. Okay. We were down for 3 solid weeks. So the backlog from March 15th through April the 2nd, we are getting through the plant right now. We are currently at a 6-week lead time. By May, we hope to be at a 4-week, which is coming on us pretty quick. And then June, we hope to be at our awesome 15 business day lead time. So they are working very hard, lots of hours, and I have seen some weekend work as well. So they're doing their best to get those orders through the plant.
Great, that's good to hear. So let's talk, you talked a little bit about the flooring. Can we talk about Kolpak ceiling?
Sure.
What's the advantage of our Kolpak ceiling construction?
Kolpak ceilings, we have quite a few options that we have out there, but I would say the best would be our engineering department helps us determine what is needed. And if a site has the capability to do the 20-foot lengths, because that is the span that we can build up to, is 20 feet inside and outside. So that is for the inside application, that is 20 feet by using our super ceilings that has a foamed in C channel for the inside. And then for outdoor, if applicable and our engineering department thinks it's needed, we can span up to 20 feet with using our Era clear span ceiling. And that's a heavy panel. So that is actually a huge beam foamed in, 3 beams foamed into your panel to be able to eliminate that need for post and beam, because that's what it does. Post and beam is an agitator, if you will, because that is installed in the inside of your walk-in when required. And a lot of the times that is needed for outdoor requirements because the snow, the wind, elements such as that, and needing that support to keep that walk-in from racking. So our inside team has, our engineers will review it and look at it and let us know if that would be a good application. Or in some cases, we can just go up to a thicker ceiling, a 5-inch or a 6-inch, and not have to go to those Era ceilings for that outdoor usage. So we have the suspended ceilings, we have ceiling hanger brackets. I mean, we have quite a few, but knowing that we can span that 20-foot has helped with that interior and exterior applications. Of your site conditions, we can build up to a 20-foot ceiling span, but your site conditions may limit that. What if you have to take your ceilings up an elevator shaft or through a window or something like that? So you may not, whether it sounds good to have a 20-foot, span, you may not actually can use it. So be cognizant of your site conditions is what I would say with that.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I could see a couple more
Yeah.
see where that would throw a wrench in the plan. So another question for you. Let's talk about the indoor inside the unit. Regarding the inside door release, are those recessed to prevent damage, or do we have a guard if they are not?
We actually have the twist turn release, and they are not a plastic, but I would say like a rubbery plastic, if you will, on a brass rod. They are not recessed. They do sit, I would say they set away from the inside door, opposite of the handle, about 4 inches. They are not encased by anything. We do have an option to where we have a quarter turn release that is not a standard yet, but we do have it as an option that doesn't stand off of the frame that far. I think it would probably withstand maybe 2 inches off of the frame, and it's just a not a turn, but kind of a slide option. So we do have some things available if they find a code or requirement, or if they see that they are having some damage issues from carts or buggies, we can work something out.
Okay. I know from my years of working in a restaurant, one of my biggest fears was getting trapped inside the walk-in cooler, which I know it's not as common as the TV shows like to show, but.
No, but just, I mean, that's a good point. If you're ever trapped in one, we do have alarms and functionalities like that will alarm people on the outside that you're in there. But if you're ever in there on your own, any walk-in manufacturer has to have a safety release. And with our standard turn, you just turn lefty-loosey until you feel it release, and then you pull it out, and then you kick that door or push that door with all your might, and that handle will come right off. So you're never really ever just stuck in there.
That's reassuring. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Kolpak has a quote request form, correct?
Yes.
So I know we have dealers and stuff on the phone, and I just think that's really important. That quote request form is really key, isn't it, to when specifying a Kolpak unit?
Yes, Kolpak definitely wants to be easy to do business with and be known to be easy to do business with. And we'll take whatever information that we can get to help supply you with a quote in a timely manner, correct the first time. Um, but we do have that form that's available, and it's minimal questions. And if that's the minimal information that we can have, we can get you really close to the requirements that you need. So we do accept, in the good old days, it was always joke that I would get quote requests on a napkin, the little conversation you're having at the dinner table. I've literally been scanned or a picture taken in of notes from a napkin. So we do want to be easy to do business with, and we do want to help our dealer partners as much as possible. So whether you do or you don't, we will help you, but the more information that you can provide makes it easier and accurate the first time around.
Yeah, and I think there's so many things to think about, and you talked about what the site looks like, and that quote form does a really good job of walking through all of those questions to set success. So I think that's really important to make sure that everybody knows that Kolpak does have this quote request form, and it's going to be super helpful tool. And then obviously the Performance Reps Northwest team is available, and as well as you, Marsha. So, I think we answered pretty much all of the questions. I want to thank you for your time. And then I just want to say to everybody, we did this seminar or this webinar kind of in honor of Earth Day, which is on April 22nd.
Yes.
So one thing, kind of a takeaway is think 4 on the door.
Yep.
So when it comes to energy efficiency and savings with walk-ins, when you think 4 on the door, you've got your air curtain that you talked about.
Mm-hmm.
You've got your auto door closer, which is really important to make sure that that's operating. Mm-hmm. You have your gaskets, keep those in good shape, which you talked about. Yep. And then you also have the hinges, make sure the door is aligned. And with Kolpak and the ability to go in there and pull off the tab right there, you can adjust that and keep those doors aligned. And then we also can say, 4 on the door and 1 on the floor. So you have that sweep at the bottom. And it's really important. So I think working with customers, remember those 4 on the door and 1 on the floor, and will help you keep your customer operating efficiently.
Correct. That's awesome.
Right. So thanks again to everybody for joining. Thank you to Marsha. If you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out to the Performance Reps Northwest team. We've got Greg, Andy, Devin, myself, Tim, Jeff. So, or you can email us at solutions@prnw.com. Join us for our next webinar, which is May 12th, and more air curtain solutions for food service.
Yep.
So thanks again, everybody, and thank you, Marsha.
Thanks, everybody, for your time.